Hey, it's just Scott, the Dawn of War guy. Uh, I'm doing a book review of Slave of the Darkness, and I'm doing it because I got it from the library, and the library called and told me someone else wanted it, so I had to read it. I had to read it quicker than normal to finish it. Um, and my review is my thoughts on this book is it's not bad. The only problem I have with this book is it doesn't really have a plot. There's no real plot in this book. It is by John French, who I have said a couple times I don't really like his books. This is one of his better ones. Really, there's only 4 characters in the book. It's about the primarchs. Horace was recovering from the assassination attempt, and he's on the verge of death. Fulgrim retired. He didn't want to do anything with the war. He was done with the war. He just wanted the party. He created his own planet and just wanted the party. Parabo, he just wanted to kill his brother Dorn, basically. So Parabo was the only one who really wanted to try. Angron he was recently turned into a demon, and he was just really confused, and his sons had to save him. So that's the story. Even though he's not on here, this book is mostly about. This is really a Logar story, which is a religious primarch. This is really his story. Logar is told by Horace to recruit Fulgrim, get him out of retirement, and it's a really long, confusing story. It's like 60% of the book, and it's a really long, confusing story. But Logar, the demon expert, was actually able to control Fulgrim against his will, and forced him he forced Fulgrim to work with Logar. He was able to control Fulgrim. And this is the book where Logar tried to kill Horace while he was on his deathbed. But one of his sons snapped him out of his funk, and Horace survived. I had to skim through the pages, so I'm not sure how he survived the assassination attempt. I kind of skipped through those parts, but when Logar went to go fight him, Horace was already doing his emperor stuff. You know how Horace was able to hurt the emperor? So he was already super powerful, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but that's what they're going with. Parabo had to go recruit Angron, and Angron was confused and just mad. So these two had to fight. So there's a Logar Fulgrim fight. There's a Parabo Angron fight. The Parabo Angron fight was probably the highlight of the book. Fulgrim being a demon, there wasn't a whole lot Logar could do. So a lot of it was just nonsense. But the Parabo Angron fight was a lot more interesting. And I pretty much skipped all the Horace parts because it was just Horace going, I'm dying, I'm dying. So I skipped a lot of that. I was on a time crunch, so I couldn't really. I only have a couple hours before I have to return this. So Uh, it's an okay book, but the entire book, it's like 300 pages. The entire book is just them recruiting each other, and that's it. Alpharius gives Horus the plans to, like, all of Rokeldorn's plans. So I guess that's how he knew about the space minefield. Alpharius told Horus of all of Earth's defense, basically, which I don't think he read. Parabo was in charge of destroying defenses. So Parabo was probably in charge of that, all that information. Yeah, when Logar went to go fight Horus, Horus's powers activated, and everybody, like, fell to their knees through pure, like, charisma, and the assassination attempt failed. Only Logar fought. All those people he trained and prepared, they just fell to their knees, which is kind of it's a lot like the Emperor situation, where everybody fell to their knees when Logar met the Emperor. It's a lot like that situation. What's funny is this is book 51, and there's only like 54 books. This is very close to the end of the series, and this is probably if I had to review this book, this is probably a skip for me. You'll see all of the Chaos guys do something, but you won't see the Legion. It's really the Primarchs and their bodyguards doing stuff. You won't see a big Legion fight, but everybody fights in this book. The Prabo stuff was probably the highlight of the book, which I didn't expect. I thought the demon stuff be the highlight of the book, but really it was the Prabo part that was the highlight of the book. Yeah, this is a good book, but it's probably a skip for me, and there's nothing I would say interesting that happens in the whole book. One thing I will mention is this is probably I'm not a Horus Heresy expert, but I think this is the first book that Lilac is mentioned, and Lilac was a big deal in the Siege of Terra books. If you read the Siege of Terra books, you'll know a lot about Lilac. So seeing Lilac for the first time was pretty cool. And Lilac says himself that his powers were just given to him, which is kind of terrifying to think about. Lilac is an insanely powerful guy, more powerful than Abaddon, and his powers were just given to him. So that's kind of crazy to think about. But because there's no plot, there's not much I can talk about. The Blood Angels showed up in the book, but they were just nameless guys. The Ultramarines showed up in this book, but they were also nameless guys, nameless Ultramarines. And yeah, this was really a Logar story. So if you want to read about Logar, this is a good one. It goes to show you that Logar, as insane as he is, he can still plan stuff out, and he can still fight. He was able to fight Fulgrim, which is impressive. So yeah, this is probably the best John French book I read, and as good as it is, the writing's good. The writing is good, but it's still a skip for me. Like I said, there's over 50 books. This is probably a skip for me. I think that's it. I think I talked about everything. Um, yeah, no loyalist with a name was mentioned, unless you count Alfarius, which I don't think he was a loyalist at the time, but who knows. So yeah, there's no loyalists in the book. So, yeah, I think that's everything. Thanks for watching. Bye.